touch me.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
it bad, I
looking at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like,
in
oh God,
professional
here goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heel of the Ring podcast here on the Sports Jedi Network. We are Money in the Bank weekend. This is our prediction show. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank from SmackDown to the event and for NXT HEATWAVE. We're going to give you our thoughts, our prediction, our expertise analysis, or whatever you want to say. But first and foremost, let me hear Mike say hello to my co-partner, Salute Chef, the Michelin Mega Star. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very good. Coming off of a stream that we just did on the Playback app, where we just did a watch along for the WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain, where it was a lot of insight, a lot of intrigue, a lot of answers, a lot of questions answered, but also a lot more questions left to be answered. So it was a very fun event there. Me and Jedi did a watch along, live in stream. You could watch it along with the actual documentary on the Playback app. Go to playback.tv, subscribe to the BX Sports Jedi Network, and you can watch us there as the Playback is live. And we had a lot of things to say about that, but hey, it's Money in the Bank time. We gotta go up, you gotta go up the ways. You gotta go up north, Jedi.
Absolutely. North of the border it is. That money, please check it out. It's on the Playback TV BX Sports Jedi channel. You could see us watching and see our facial reactions while you're watching the documentary. We're in a little corner on the box, and you see the documentary play out. You're not going to miss a thing of what's being shown, and you see our instant reaction there. So in the near future, we might do some wrestling matches there, when we would like you to some old classic ones and see our reactions at matches that maybe Chef Dan didn't watch, or like myself, I didn't watch some TNA. Classic TNA wrestling matches. I watched them there for the very first time and go, ooh and ahs. So we that's very fun, something that we're going to add to the Heel of the Ring podcast going forward with some visual wrestling, classic wrestling matches. We'll call it classic someday. We'll pick a day out and we'll make a classic day or classic watch along. So that's some news in the near future. But we'll get right into the Money in the Bank prediction weekend. It's going to start off, of course, it's going to be on Toronto, same venue, the Scotia Arena. We have for SmackDown, they're letting us know it's going to be Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, taking on DIY, Gargano, and Ciampa for those WWE Tag Team titles. My question, do you see them finally pulling the trigger for DIY as becoming Tag Team Champions with Waller and Theory? We've been seeing some tease of Gargano getting in the head of Austin Theory, putting some dissension, a wedge between Waller and Theory. You've seen some super kicks that Theory's been at the short end of the stick. What's your thoughts on that?
As well as they're playing it right now, and I would like to see it, not yet. I'm a patient man. They've planted enough seeds to start to see the dissension, but it hasn't been there yet. We've seen Austin Theory still let DIY know that he believes Grayson Theory to be his boy, true and true through and through. So it's not yet for the simple fact of what I'm not patient for. It's because Austin Theory is yet to see it himself. There has to be a defining moment that he has to watch, that he has to see. That has to be that class-shattering moment for him to know that Grayson Waller doesn't have his best interests at heart. But right now, it's going to be tough to do so while they're mired in gold. That's the toughest thing above all else. They can take all these hits, but at the end of the day, Austin Theory's got a gold title around his waist, and Waller's part of the reason why. So I don't see it happening just yet. I still see A-Town Down Under retaining through some slimy ways, of course, but A-Town Down Under is going to retain. This is what happens after that. I'm really worried for Austin.
All right. I'm not going to too harp on this too much. This match on SmackDown. I'm with you. I think the tag team champions retain because SummerSlam is in Cleveland. Gargano is from Cleveland, Ohio, where there might be a stipulation if they go to SummerSlam. You don't beat us no more. You can't ask for the tag team titles no more. Or they could say, you know what, Theory or Waller could just turn around and say, we'll give you another tag team title match, but you and Ciampa have to disband as tag team. You can't challenge us, and you can't tag no more at SummerSlam. So I could see that building later on in the summer to the SummerSlam match with a stipulation. But it's in Cleveland, and I can see where Gargano and Ciampa finally pull the trigger and win the tag team titles in Gargano's hometown in Cleveland. Get the hometown pop, where you could see the dissension between Austin Theory and Waller. They could, maybe they split up there at that moment where they leave Waller alone to take the pin, and you have the feel good moment for the hometown heroes in Ciampa and Gargano. Another match scheduled for SmackDown. It's going to be Bianca and Jade, LHM, Lord have mercy, taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. You've seen these ladies get involved in these qualifying matches on the Money in the Bank, costing each other ladies. Indy Hartwell authority assigned to Jade, Bianca as well, Candice LeRae, so forth. Does this get settled once and for all here on Friday Night SmackDown in Toronto with these ladies? Who could not pick against Jade and Bianca? Here I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in this. I won't be surprised if Jade and Bianca gets attacked here. I'm gonna leave it as that by a new coming tag team. I have a funny feeling we're gonna get a surprise upcoming tag team attacking the ladies, and it's gonna be like, oh, LeRae and Hartwell goes over.
I don't see none of what you're talking about. Team Lord of Mercy, my Amazonas, Ebony Queens, Team Delicious Chocolate. Oh my God, yes. BB and JC all the way. Team Lord of Mercy. I got them winning it.
Hey, I hope so, but I think we'll find out. We have another match that was scheduled that was set up last week. We're gonna have the Street Profits taking on Pretty Deadly. We haven't seen Pretty Deadly in the ring in quite some time against the Street Profits, who also, you could say, not much TV time or much ring action, but of course B-Fab in the corner of the Profits. Pretty Deadly versus Street Profits. I like the Profits going over on Pretty Deadly. I like the Yes-Boy, but Pretty Deadly uses a lot of cheating tactics too, but I don't know. I think they're going to want to heat up the Profits here going forward, especially if they're going to try to pull the trigger with Gargano and Ciampa. Or maybe I'm backward. Maybe it could be backwards, but I got to see the Profits win here. I think Profits win, Chef.
Profits. Yeah, I think I got the Profits going over here simply for the fact that they've got some animosity that they've kind of haven't been able to unleash on the Bloodline. So right now, Pretty Deadly is just seeming to be in the way. I will say, though, I would not be surprised if at some point, somewhere along the way, because they are running roughshod, if the Bloodline were to come back and give the Profits a receipt that they feel they owe them, I wouldn't be surprised about that. But I think the Profits win this matchup here.
Yeah, we'll see. That is the Friday Night SmackDown announced card right now as of July 3rd. That's what's being announced. There might be more segments. They might be put a last-minute match or so forth.
Jedi, your four favorite words. No. Your four favorite words.
What are they?
Card, subject
to
change.
That's right. Card subject to change. So those are the three announced card right here. The announced matches. Like you said, card subject to change. We will see if anything happens. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some type of last-minute Money in the Bank participant summit talk with women or the men, or a promo battle whatsoever, or even the Bloodline and Kevin Owens, which is going to lead us right into Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, let's go right into that match. We're going to have the six-man tag, the Bloodline. That Solo Sikoa, Tanga Loa, I don't know if it's going to, or Jacob Fatu. I don't know how many members of the Bloodline, which three are actually going to wrestle. To me, it seems they're making it sound like Jacob Fatu will be in this match with Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa taking on Rose, Orton, and Owens. I could see an audible where Solo doesn't wrestle and put all 3 members of his new bloodline in the ring. So that's interesting. Let me ask that first question. Do you think, who should think those 3 are going to be for bloodline?
Here's where I'm kind of breaking into it a little. I don't know how tough it's gonna be, because I don't know if Jacob's even gonna be able to cross the border.
Okay,
if you guys know about Jacob and his circumstances and the way Canada essentially just the way they are so strict and stringent with their travel policies, I don't know if Jacob's gonna be able to. If he does, I still see this being Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, with Jacob potentially interfering here and there. But I don't see him being a part of the matchup. I think, man, I gotta say this. I think it serves better to have Jacob have a debut match on Friday Night SmackDown.
I mean, yes, I could see where you could go that route, protecting him as a singles debut, not a squash, but a semi-squash match for Jacob. I'm like, oh damn, this guy means business. Instead of a 6-man, you might be right. Maybe that's why they protected themselves with Fatu. Fatu is not here. Fatu Canuck, he's not here. You never know when the Wild Samoan could come out, or the Samoan Wolf will come out of nowhere. So maybe that they'll play that for the weekend. Who do you have going over here? I think the Bloodline goes over on this. I have a funny feeling.
You my twin. I got the Bloodline going over on this.
I got the Bloodline, yeah.
They just got rid of the only guy that someone. This sounds crazy what I'm about to say. They got rid of the only guy that was consciously holding them back, because he had a conscience in Paul Heyman. And we never know the Walrus to have a conscience.
Let me ask this. I know the IWC was talking about getting another wise man for Solo Sikoa, and those name thoughts are out there. Do you think he brings another wise man into the fold? And personally, I don't think it should be Rikishi. As many people has been referencing maybe Rikishi as a wise man. Why would Rikishi, what parent? Well, it's wrestling. Anything can happen. But he's gonna really take the side of Solo Sikoa over Jimmy and Jey Uso. As a father, it doesn't add up. I can see more of Haku, who has both of his sons' interests in Tamaloa and Tama Tonga, bringing and being a wise man, trying to blind Solo Sikoa of making ill decisions against his own family, where the Tongans, where Haku wants to take stake and be head of table through his son, because we know there's another son out there by Hikaleo who is rumored to be teased to sign with the WWE. Not yet, but I don't think he'll debut here in Toronto. I'm not saying he will, maybe down the line, but Haku now has 3 sons in that bloodline. If he's the wise man, as a wise man, he'll bring his other son in, introduced as a wise man into this storyline. And me personally, if they want to bring another wise man, and they want to bring in, it has to be with that bloodline type of deal. Like Haku will be one if he's willing.
Yeah, those are the only names that spark interest to me. If not, I have another. I have a separate idea that I don't know, Jedi. You just follow along with me.
No, I'm listening. I'm open-minded.
Solo has clearly shown that he is a renegade.
Yes.
Like, he's different from the rest of the family. He's more vicious. He's not caring of opinions. He just wants to get the job done. Really doesn't even, you see it in the way who he's bringing around him, dangerous criminals, things of that nature. What if he breaks the order? What if he doesn't have a wise man?
Ooh, interesting.
What if that right there is something that also it angers them, but in the same note, it kind of, it angers them. They respect it, but in the same note, it truly angers them, the family, to go, That's not how we do things by custom. By custom, we have a wise man who helps us delegate and take care of certain business. What if Solo just looks at the family in that manner that he does? It just goes, the old ways got us what? A loser and a tribal chief.
I'm
A
okay
guy
with
who says he's the final boss and just disappears. Things, this, that, whatever. He says, I've been able to get done more in this small time. What these guys couldn't get done without a wise man. Matter of fact, that was with the wise man holding me back. So imagine me with no wise man, what I can really do.
it. And you intrigue something in me. What if The Rock is the wise man? And I didn't think about that. I was thinking Haku, Beto Estrada, or whatever was that guy that used to be Manga's manager? Alejandro Estrada. What was his name? That's his name?
Alejandro Estrada.
Him too.
I'm mad I remember that.
Somebody outside of the family, because Paul Heyman was, been with the Samoans for so long, and, something like that. But I like that theory you went with, because it kind of reminds me of Black Panther, when Killmonger says, the old ways are, you made that argument just like Killmonger mentioned on that movie on the Black Panther. No, what the old ways got us. And then it got us, secluded away and all that stuff. Good point on that one. I like that one. We shall see, because this Bloodline story is going to continue to get hot after Money in the Bank. Let's go with a match in Money in the Bank here. Let's go with the ladder matches first. Let's start off, because it's going to be a little bit of elaborate, because the reason why I don't go to the main event or the World Heavyweight title, because I have kind of a little bit of a theory. Let's go to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Here's the participants for it. It's Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, and Andrade. Now, I'm going to give you these names, and I'm going to give you a case from each one of these guys, Money in the Bank winners, and how it relates to the storyline currently with the WWE. I'm going to start off with Carmelo Hayes, because he's the rookie or the new breed with wet behind the ears. Carmelo Hayes wins the Money in the Bank. You're building a new superstar. You're building a star from NXT. Remember, Money in the Bank, he has a full year to cash that. Doesn't mean he has to cash it immediately, in 3 weeks, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. He could go all the way onto WWE Backlash, even Crown Jewel, or if they go back to Riyadh for King of the Ring, if they do King of the Ring again, or so forth. That Money in the Bank briefcase has a full year of opportunity to steal the world title or put himself in the world title of his choice at any time. Carmelo Hayes, you build him up. He has that briefcase. He becomes annoying. You see him up and down. Is he going to tease? Who is he going to tease? And with Carmelo Hayes, he still has unfinished business with Trick Williams. If Trick Williams decides to stay as NXT or defeats or wins and becomes NXT's champion, you could tease that Carmelo shows up at NXT with the Money in the Bank. Is he going to cash in on Trick Williams? All that is storyline related, where, everyone's going to say, what a putz going against the NXT title. But it's storyline, because now you're watching 3 products. You're watching NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, because Carmelo Hayes has that briefcase. It crosses over on all the different brands. So that's a case for Carmelo Hayes. For LA Knight, he is one of the most overact in WWE. Some people say he might not even need the Money in the Bank ladder match, because he has a feud with Logan Paul. But if LA Knight were to get that title, like you said, he's still going after Logan Paul, but I still have the Money in the Bank. So he's trying to double dip and ride the popularity train, winning the United States title, still have the Money in the Bank briefcase, where he could just cash in on any of the World Heavyweight title and be a double champion. Just think about that. Somewhere, somehow, in Elimination Chamber, LA Knight's a double champion. If he wow. Or so forth like that. You're like, so, and when he's still on fire, where everyone's saying his name, LA Knight, yeah. So that's a case for LA Knight. I'm going to give you a case for Money in the Bank briefcase for Andrade winning it. I like this because no one thought about this. One of the most prestigious, and we're talking about reviewing movies, it's reviewing old matches on the playback TV. And, of course, one of the biggest rivalry is Flair versus Rhodes. I know Andrade is not technically Flair, but he's married. He's an in-law of the Flair family with Charlotte. You telling me you don't want to see a series between Cody Rhodes and Andrade possible for a world title? Yes, I know Andrade is not going to be Cody Rhodes, but we were talking about on watching along before. Cody needs some opponents. Cody needs some guys he's going to beat, but that could push him to a brink where you could invite and interject the storyline. And Andrade being family with Flair, and I want to do this for my father-in-law. And even though he's with All Elite, signed up with his energy drink, whatever the case is, but Charlotte is still there, and Charlotte is about to return anytime, any place. You know what? I'm going to honor my wife's family, and I'm going to beat you, Cody Rhodes, just the way my father-in-law beat your father. You could bring that Rhodes versus Flair through Andrade, make that a rivalry. Yes, we know that he's not going to go over, but you need those heels to carry us into Survivor Series, maybe SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or for the next amount of time, a program for the summer into the fall for Cody Rhodes. We're talking about what makes a title run memorable is a adversary, a rivalry with a wrestler that could go in the ring in Andrade. And if you bring Charlotte back to the fold as a heel or as a manager or joining forces with Andrade, it kind of works, ladies and gentlemen, because she's gonna talk about her father and her husband fighting for her honor, her family last name and legacy versus Cody. And then you could bring in Roman, or you could bring not Roman, you could bring Randy Orton later on, because hey, wait a minute, you know. And remember, Cody's introduction, wrestling has more than just one royal family. You're talking about the Rhodes, you're talking about the Ortons, you're talking about the Flairs. Now it could work into croissants and levels. Jey Uso winning the Money in the Bank. He is one of the most over wrestlers right now with his entrance. People love him, gravitate. He needs that Money in the Bank because he wants to, dare I say, be the top and show that he's separated from his family, and he wants to be main event Jey Uso. He has a chance to be in the main event again with the Money in the Bank briefcase. It solidifies him as an opportunist to be with that Money in the Bank briefcase. Chad Gable's getting so close. He cannot really challenge no more for the Intercontinental Champion. He needs another avenue to get back there. He's hungry. He's desperate. He's getting rid of Otis and his family because he's losing focus because he got obsessed of wanting to get gold. He gets that Money in the Bank briefcase. He's obsessed on when to cash in and being opportunistic. Storylines. Where is that little creep? Because he's short. When is he going to cash in on who and when? Chad Gable, here comes with the briefcase. And he could also play it where you could throw a little comedy in his try to fair cash-ins or attempted failed cash-ins with Chad Gable, and doesn't hurt. It keeps us intrigued and wanting to see. And finally, Drew McIntyre, where it could work. Drew McIntyre wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. He's going to ready, and he's about to cash in, and you know he has a rivalry with a CM Punk. He cashes in, the bell rings, and Punk crosses him again. And he loses the opportunity to fail cash in, which it could happen that even night at Money in the Bank. He could win the Money in the Bank that night and want to cash in later on in the evening, and that's when Punk screws him. And he failed. We have a complete failed cash in on Drew McIntyre, and boy, does that bring more fire into that SummerSlam match. So, Chef Dan, I gave a case for why these men could deserve the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm going to give you my winner. I think Drew McIntyre wins. And you know me, I call him melatonin. I'm not a fan of McIntyre. I think he's boring, so forth. But I think business-wise and compelling, I think McIntyre should win. And I would like the way I just played it out, said it, to be like, oh, damn, a failed cash-in. More, you one more way of getting them back from that bracelet that he took. Him try to cash in and Punk causes him and gets pinned, whoever's the champion at that time. Later on when we'll talk about it, and Punk screws McIntyre yet again. Who do you like? And if you want to go with a case for each one, the floor is yours.
I hate it when you do this to me. When you give the great answer, the business answer, the sound one, the one that makes sense. So now I got to jump off a ledge. I didn't have McMelatonin in my mind to win. But as soon as you explain the money behind it, I'm like, damn it, it makes too much sense. Though, still have to say, we're going based on what you know in my heart.
Oh, your heart. Yes. Yes. Right. Right. It doesn't have to be right. And I didn't give you my heart pick. I gave you the business, and I would like to see. I'll give you my heart afterwards. I don't want to stop your thought process.
Okay. So then, all right. Wait. Let me give you what my brain was thinking. 'Cause I wasn't even thinking along your way. My brain still had my heart in consideration. So what my brain said is, I would love for LA Knight to win the Money in the Bank, but what I do know, he's already announced that he wants to go after the United States Championship. If you have a free license to steal, you don't steal the second, you know, the second prize in the fair. You go for number one. So if that's the case, my heart was saying, yeet, we got to get Jey Uso and the yeet in the bank, baby. Let's go, yeet in the bank. I need that yeet in the bank. I need Mr. Yeet in the bank. Hold up. Let me do this right, you know? Need to make sure Mr. Yeet in the bank get the money in the bank, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeet. That's what we need.
There you go.
So that's my pick. I got Jey Uso. So now, what does your heart tell you?
Me personally, my heart tells me, I kind of would like to see again, Carmelo Hayes. It's just the NXT in me, brother. It's just the NXT in me, bro. Yeah. It's just I love that product so much, and I would have been so happy for Carmelo Hayes to run around with the Money in the Bank briefcase, because you know, just like sports, it's always about a youth moment. I know in wrestling you don't have to be that young, you know, because there's a lot of immaturity when it comes to performers and stuff like that. But I would love Carmelo Hayes in my heart. But personally, I hope they go the Drew McIntyre route with the failed cash-in. That would be so episodic. But then again, I love the Andrade twist, because Andrade with challenging Cody, and with Charlotte Flair and that storyline where you know, people wrestling, no matter what, you can have 5-star matches, flippy floppy, you can flip flop like a pancake, or transvestite hiding his penis, but you still need a storyline. If you have a storyline to it, people are going to be compelled, and they're going to want to watch, even if the matches are not 5 stars. But there's a whole build of a storyline, you're going to love it. That's where Liv and Dom situation is going off the charts, because of the storyline. All right, so we got our picks here. Let's go with the women's. Let's give the women's Money in the Bank match. You have Io Sky, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, and Zoe Starks. This one's a little bit different. I wish I was thinking about a compelling argument for each one of these women, why they win the Money in the Bank title. First of all, Io Sky is a former last year Money in the Bank winner. If you go that, she's in a president of a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. And we saw her cash in, very successful, and she knows when to be opportunistic. That alone is a storyline. Women will not be at ease. Whoever's the world champion, either Rhea Ripley, if she returns, Liv Morgan, if she's holding the title then, or Bayley, for Io Sky holding that Money in the Bank title, because she's very smart and astute, and she has damage control, watching her back to try to help cash in. So that's a storyline compelling alone. Now I'm gonna get Zoe Stark, the lowest woman on the tadpole, where people was like wanted to see Dakota Kai take that instead of Zoe. Zoe could use the Money in the Bank and tease that for almost a full year. Seeing her coming around and walking around with that Money in the Bank, when is Zoe going to cash in? Oh, my God, Zoe. And if Zoe could generate enough fan interest with her being, and put personality behind the Money in the Bank briefcase, when the time cashes in, it might be where the fans are behind her. Let's say a female has a lackluster title run, and Zoe could come out, and people might get behind her because they want to see Zoe cash in and try something different. So I could get that case for Zoe Stark, holding that briefcase. Lyra Valkyria, new to the scene. Lyra's being kind of prepped as a protege of Becky Lynch. And if Lyra wins this Money in the Bank briefcase, she's a babyface. Money in the Bank briefcase usually goes for a heel, because it's a license to steal the world title on an opportunistic time. Well, I could put a scenario where Lyra Valkyria has the Money in the Bank briefcase. She's about to cash in, doing it the right way with stuff, and boom, a returning Becky Lynch blitzes her. And maybe kind of a heel, or I'm trying to teach you, you always got to be ready at all times. You don't announce when you're going to. Yeah, I mean, when she cuts a promo, you don't tell the world you're going to cash in and tell your opponent that you're coming for it. You win the Money in the Bank because you become opportunistic, and that's a lesson trying to teach a protege for Becky Lynch returning back to the WWE. Like, oh shit, holy crap moment for Lyra Valkyria failed cashing. Chelsea Green. Holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Chelsea Green is a comedy, but she's a hell of a wrestler. She could bring an entertainment value to that Money in the Bank briefcase that, my God, and she'll get people behind her to want to successfully cash that in, because she's going to, and she doesn't have to do it right away. She could long play it where you're like, she's going to do it. And she has Piper Niven in her corner. Piper Niven might have, do some of the heavy lifting, and she could come in and be opportunistic, because that's her character. That Karen opportunistic move for Chelsea Green, and my God, the storyline they'll say for Chelsea Green as the Money in the Bank winner. It's Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is over with the crowd. People want to cheer her. She fits the checkbox on what WWE looks for a women's champion. Young, up and coming, gymnastic, good looking on the eyes. Where she has that, and her cash in at an Elimination Chamber or something like that, people will get behind, where there is a group of folks that will go behind Tiffany Stratton. For Naomi, I think she deserves it, or earned it. Naomi winning, and not just, here's the reason why you could put Naomi winning the Money in the Bank. She wins the Money in the Bank. Now, you have a storyline. Is Bayley easily comfortable with Naomi holding that Money in the Bank? Because remember, Bayley just comes out of a heel group, beating everyone up and becoming mercilessly, being cruel, mean girl. You start to judge people by your own condition. There's a saying: you judge people by your own condition. If you're a thief, you think everyone's gonna steal from you. I'm just, you have that stereo, and you're thinking if you're a heel or was a heel, you're thinking Naomi's going to do heel stuff or be sneaky with you, and that's going to bring dissension in a friendship, bitterness, or I don't trust you, and that could give that program for a while until they pull that trigger. So that's another case where Naomi could win. Personally, who I like to win this is Chelsea Green, because I think the Money in the Bank holding her the title will be so the briefcase is going to be so compelling, episodic, week-to-week TV. It gets her more on television, but business-wise will be Naomi.
There you go with the business, man. I got one to throw your wrench your way either. You ready for this?
No, I'm listening.
If that makes sense business-wise, it would also make sense business-wise for Tiffany Stratton to get the suitcase, because I don't see Bayley beating Nia Jax. That's still to come later on down the line. So if you got Tiffany Stratton with the Money in the Bank briefcase, with Nia Jax that has the title that literally just took Tiffany Stratton under her wing, and this is a Nia Jax who we know has never, ever, ever done something like that. Never been friendly with the competition. She's not like that.
Right.
That would be something to really watch. It's like they built it up, and it's already going to possibly enter into dissension for ambition, which is admirable, and that's always been the story. It's a good thing I don't have to worry about the business though. If you want me to give you my head and my heart,
yeah, go for it. Go for it, because I want to add to that storyline that you mentioned. Go ahead.
Okay. If my brain is thinking, like you said, Naomi makes sense. Also from a standpoint of what she sacrificed to bet on herself, come back, and be even bigger than what she was when she first was in the WWE.
Yes.
And that is clearly that's rewarded here. Your hard work is rewarded in the WWE. Because it's not just what you do outside of there. It's also when you come in, you do the same amount of good work there. That's what my head says. My heart says Zoe Starks. My heart says Zoe Starks, like it. When was it? It was a golden moment, literally, just before she got the matchup with Rhea Ripley, and it was just because Rhea Ripley was in the was around. That was the only unfortunate thing, was that you had Rhea Ripley, as dominant as she was, be around, and Zoe Starks had no other choice but to run into Rhea. She had to run into Rhea, but now it's here. I think this is her moment. The same way Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, they had to get squashed for bigger stars to come in and you know, certain things that I think is her moment now to get that, to get the Money in the Bank. And it also is a huge boost for her, because now, whether you know it or not, she is going to constantly be in your reminder, be in every program somewhat, like just somewhere in there. So, yep.
I like that. You know what? I like it. I want to go back to the Naomi, right? And I totally forgot about Nia Jax taking on Bayley, because she's the queen of the ring and she gets that title match. She gets that title match at SummerSlam. One thing that's going on, I don't know how hot and intense the Bloodline storyline is going to get even more, if they're going to add female elements to it, especially on the other side of the Naomi's a part of the Fatu bloodline because of marriage with Jimmy Uso. If he returns and he aligns, if the way it's projecting, Nia versus Naomi, and Naomi has the Money in the Bank briefcase, kind of is compelling for that storyline with Bloodline versus Bloodline with the female. But here's another caveat: even if Nia beats Bayley, you could still have Tiffany with that briefcase, because Nia has bought a really good friendship with Tiffany Stratton in the last few days. You know, kind of they're friends outside of the wrestling ring, and the social media, you see they follow together. Now they're bringing it to the wrestling world, where that friendship, like you said, greed, corruption, or ambition, where Tiffany might want to turn on Nia later on, when, you know, if Naomi versus Nia in a bloodline situation, and Tiffany, instead of helping a friend, cashes in on her, and there you have it. You could do that, the ultimate, oh snap, dissension, because, you know, and she, boy. So that's all good for business. Talk about all this backstabbing, money, business decision, or storyline that could come out on just Tiffany, Naomi, either one flip-flopping on winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. Because you still have Nia Jax in this equation at SummerSlam versus Bayley, if they were to pull the trigger for Nia to hold the women's title. So that's a lot of good storyline, compelling. Even if Bayley still wins and they say Naomi, you still have that dissension there as well. Or Tiffany, you know, has that there, and she wants to cash in on Bayley for SummerSlam as well. After Nia Jax puts her through the ringer, you know, and then that's dissension with Tiffany and Bayley, because then you made me do all the heavy work and you cashed in and became champion. You know, that could go from there too. So there's a lot of great storylines with that there. I mean, you could love it. Let's go into the next one here for the Women's Money in the Bank. So any direction, it's like the multiverse of reality in Marvel. Whichever branch of reality they want to go, or storyline-wise, guys, it could work, because it could give us more storyline. They just got to find out which branch has the multiple branches or multiple avenues of storyline-wise, where it includes more women and more action for months to come, and compelling television too. So tough one for the creative team there, but we gave you our thoughts there on which ladies on the Money in Bank and which stream of reality we wouldn't mind going to. Let's go. I'm going to go to this one because I want to leave this one for last. Where did it go? We're going to go World Heavyweight Champion. The returning Seth freaking Rollins wants to get his title back, taking on Damian Priest with some stipulation. Priest loses out of the Judgment Day. Rollins loses. He cannot challenge Damian Priest for the world champion no more until he's no longer champion. Rollins cannot challenge for the title. Stipulation-wise, I'm going to go with you. Who do you like to win? Because I got theories on all this, different routes, different ways they could go. Who you like?
This one's tough. The minute they do the stipulation, this one's tough. I got Damian Priest El Campeon retaining.
Okay. And
I think there's a lot. Oh man, damn man. As soon as you did this, I don't have anything from my heart or my brain. I just got business. And the only thing that makes sense to me is that there's still a lot more of the lemon to be squeezed out of Judgment Day, especially with Damian Priest being in Judgment Day. Not only that, but once you had that comment with Dominic and Damian, that was the one that I know Finn and Damian had that whole back and forth that played out itself against Seth Rollins in the ring. But if there was any interaction that kind of piqued my ears, that made me, raise my eyebrows, all of that, antennas went up, was when Dominic said to Damian as he was entering the clubhouse, "Dude, chill out. You're starting to sound like my dad." Now, I don't know why that piques my ears, Jedi, but that one piques my ears and also lets me know there's a lot more money to be made. Maybe I can figure this out, as time goes on. But I got a Campeon retaining. Also helps out and lets Seth Rollins slowly come back, because I know this would be his first match. But after that, you can cut more promos and have him do other things as opposed to, being involved in the World Heavyweight Championship picture. I don't know. The only thing business-wise that makes sense is Damian Priest retaining. That's what I got.
Okay. Here's a couple scenarios that could play out of this. For Seth freaking Rollins, if he wins the WWE Heavyweight Champion, you have a chance where Finn Balor comes out, Liv Morgan. It could backfire either way, and cost Damian Priest, because they want him out of Judgment Day, because the stipulation, if he loses, he's out. So Liv, remember, she wants to take everything from Rhea Ripley, and if she takes out a founding member of Judgment Day in Damian Priest, that's taking almost everything, because he's not there. He don't got the muscle or the intimidator on Judgment Day anymore. He's out. Can't be there. Costing him. She could manipulate herself to have Finn turn on Damian, costing him that title, and get him out of Judgment Day, where now they could control and run Judgment Day they want. Because remember, Finn was the last member of Judgment Day. He wasn't the first or the second. He was the last member after Edge. They threw Edge out for him. So maybe that's another route they could go with that there. Or Liv can help Damian win that title off of Rollins, where Damian is so pissed off because he wants to do it one-on-one and prove that he doesn't need Judgment Day to interfere to retain. But while you're getting involved, and Liv could say, "See, I helped you retain. You need me."
Just wanted to add another caveat to what you just said, because that would... Remember, the stipulation is no Judgment Day.
She's not Judgment Day. She's not Judgment Day. They never made her an official Judgment Day member. She never did. So maybe he's all irate and upset. Damian Priest and distracted. Then Drew wins. If Drew were to win the Money in the Bank, comes out and try to cash on Priest. When he's about to cash, they ring the bell, and here comes Punk. Boom. And Damian gets the pin on Punk on Drew McIntyre. He failed cashing that same evening. Or even Seth Rollins. Rollins wins the title. Not only he's out of Judgment Day, he took out Drew McIntyre as the number one contender because he tried to cash in on Seth Rollins. Where let's say Damian Priest loses, and he just beats the shit out of Seth Rollins afterwards because he's out of Judgment Day. He's so mad that they cost him. They Liv cost him with a mistake and all that good stuff. And then how comes Drew to be opportunistic and he can't get it? That's another way of going like, holy crap. So there's so many different storylines that they could go with this. Which one they'll pull? It has to do something with Liv Morgan, I believe. And again, it's going to be interesting, the placing of the card, which match goes first. If they put the men's first, then we're going to see the cash-in. Then I think Drew wins because of the cash-in angle. Or maybe not. Maybe Drew gets it. He gets his because to crap on him again, like he gets the title, the Money in the Bank card, and he goes to cash in that same night and he fails. Maybe he tries cashing in on Monday Night Raw in Ottawa, and that's where Punk comes out. Or they get back to the States and another Monday Night Raw, and that leads to that SummerSlam match as they get closer. And he beats and he fails to cash in on Drew and says, I'm 100% clear. I'm ready to go. And he gets on the mic and then he, so it could go in many ways there. I'm intrigued to see how they do it on the placement of the Money in the Bank ladder match with the men's when they put it on the card. We'll go to a match that I wanted away for personal reasons. It's the Intercontinental title match between Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. Now, this is a tough one because Sami Zayn is in Canada, but you're not in Montreal. You're in Toronto against an up-and-coming former two-time NXT World Champion and the future of wrestling of WWE, Braun Breaker. I'm going to be biased. I'm a huge Braun Breaker fan. Mark, whatever you want to call me. I'm going with Braun Breaker becoming Intercontinental Champion. I'm not going to go into any more details. That's what I like. I don't see Sammy.
Sammy might retain.
Okay. I mean, because you're heating up Braun Breaker to have Sammy just... I mean, who's Braun? Okay, Braun's out of the Intercontinental picture. Who's going to be the next Intercontinental challenger for Sami Zayn?
If just because Sammy wins doesn't mean Braun Breaker's out of the Intercontinental picture.
It's gonna be tough.
I can say like Chad Gable clearly showed us
that true.
As long as you have enough of a wherewithal, and as long as you can set the parameters right, you can get into another match with Sami Zayn.
All right. I mean, we'll see, but I would like to see, because I think if Braun wins the IC title, he could put that he could continue that legacy of a Gunther, because you got some matchup Braun versus Brunson Reed. You telling me that power of Braun versus Brunson Reed, you don't want to watch that one there? It's more of a compelling eyeball than Sami Zayn. I'm just saying I'm telling to everyone's listening to us. Braun taking on Ludwig Kaiser, different kinds of styles of wrestling. You could see Luke Kaiser. You could see even in Xavier Woods and Braun Breaker. It's something different matchup, Intercontinental title wise. Or he goes and he destroys an Otis. Because because Chad Gable is out there lurking. Even Gable running him off. Especially if they say that the Creeds are going to join Gable in a stable, and Creeds were friends with Braun in NXT, where they could that's the first victim they turn on and join Chad Gable, beating up a Braun Breaker. They're thinking they're going to congratulate their friend, and boom, they're with Chad Gable, and Chad wants an Intercontinental title against Braun Breaker match. I mean, because the Creeds are now got involved in beating them up. Although we think the Creed, we think that Chad has got problems with the mysterious Wyatt Six, but I don't think we're going to see the Wyatt Six wrestle for a long time. I think they're just going to creep people out for a while, which is fine. We'll see there. That's Money in the Bank. That's our prediction there. I mean, there could be so many storylines coming out in Money in the Bank from Monday Night Raw and up to SummerSlam, because I think, 3 weeks later, SummerSlam. So the premium live events are coming quick and fast. But they got to get those storylines to get us going to the next, not just to the next pay-per-view, long-term storyline that have stops in between in the premium live events. So these storylines, we told you, we explained it with layers, with branches on storylines that could continue going for some long programs. Even the Sami Zayn Braun Breaker, like you said, I might have said it might not take some out of the title Intercontinental. You made a good point. Now it prolongs that, where maybe there's a bigger crowd for Braun winning the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, and it's a bigger venue. It's like, ooh.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest thing that in regard to that is this is my last statement I'm gonna say is, y'all brought it last time. Toronto, look, I'm not even saying that y'all not gonna bring it this time. It's just whenever Sami Zayn is in Toronto, magic happens.
Yep.
Whenever Sami Zayn is in Toronto, magic happens. I don't mean just magic for him. I mean magic for us watching that night. The way the crowd interacts with Sami, I'm just excited for what this crowd brings. Yo, keep putting us U.S. crowds to shame. Please keep doing that. Continue to trend, Toronto, please.
We'll find out because they're going to have all weekend. And we'll go to the final event of the weekend. The final event of the weekend is NXT HEATWAVE on a Sunday to complete the trifecta in Toronto and Scotia Arena. We'll have a kickoff. We were announced with a kickoff match. Carmen Petrovic and Adriana Grace taking on JC Jane and Jasmine Nix to kick it off. Who do you like here? The hometown girls from Toronto. It's Carmen Petrovic and Adriana Grace. They're both from Toronto taking on Jasmine and JC Jane. Who do you like going over here?
I got the Double J's going over. I think JC and Jasmine have more chemistry as a team together. They've been together. They've, been moving together for a while versus Carmen and Ariana is just a spur thing at the moment. And Ariana is not really, she's a pageant queen. She's not a grappler. She's not a wrestler.
All right. I can see that. I think we're getting a new form with a new kind of a toxic attraction group with JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley. They're teasing it. Fallon Henley was watching that match in the monitor, like you mentioned, on NXT Live last Tuesday night. And I wouldn't be surprised if the heels go over and the hometown girls get spoiled, where it leads a match between Adriana and Carmen on Tuesday night at NXT Live. Yeah, that would be the kickoff. We'll go right into another match here. It's for the tag team, NXT Tag Team Champions. Nathan Frazier and Axiom taking on Andre Chase and I believe Duke Hudson, right? It's not Bourne, but no Rich Holland. Rich Holland was told to stay home, or he couldn't make the trip because he helped them. He kind of helped them get that opportunity for the title. So, Duke Hudson's out there snitching. Who do you like?
I don't want to say snitch you wins, but they always have this habit of when a good tag team is going and they've already built in the storyline that Nathan Frazier has started to spread himself too thin. Heritage Cup matchups, WWE Speed matchups. Not really been watching the tapes. Not like Axiom's focus, Nathan isn't. That's the case, then a team divided will never stand tall. I think Snitch U takes the cake and they dethrone another good tag team. Again.
All right. I'm going to go with the tag team champions retaining. I think they lose it on Tuesday night. I think they'll whoever the next opponent on Tuesday night, because NXT's done that before. They go to the premium live event with the tag teams. You're thinking the titles are going to change. It doesn't. They're like, damn, why didn't they pull the trigger? And then on a random Tuesday night, they have a match and the tag team titles change. Like, what? Why didn't you just do it on the premium live event where it makes sense? And sometimes they do that to get the element of surprise, or maybe they want to see whoever teams up. The crowd goes bonkers. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Axiom and Nathan Frazier taking on Idris and Enofe on Tuesday. And Brittany Reese gets them a title match with her power of positivity, and they come out tag team. And that's when Nathan Frazier slips on a banana peel, where he's just running too thin. And then you get Idris and Enofe to win the tag team titles on Tuesday night. And it's good storytelling because, they make it believable. They slipped on a banana peel, chase you. Whatever happened to Ridge, Ridge might show up and distract them and they get pinned. Or Rally Osborne gets mad or something. And, you could go with that storyline route. I think, if I had the pencil, I would like that to go that way there. We'll move on here. I mean, or it doesn't have to be Adelphi and Idris. It could be another tag team that's around that, slip on the banana peel situation. But I want Adelphi and I want Idris to be the tag team champions. Me personally, on a personal note. All right. So we get to the North American Champion match. Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka. This is Kalani Jordan's second title defense, her first on a premium live event for Kalani Jordan. I love the fact that they told us the backstory of Kalani Jordan, being a gymnast, seeing her accolades as an amateur or as a collegiate student, as well as Sol Ruka. Kind of like the same background, kind of like a mirror match between these two ladies. Me personally this is what I'm looking for the storyline. Who is the one that's going to turn to the dark side to get the victory?
That's the only intrigue in this matchup. And I don't mean this
and it's not a negative way. I get you.
It's not a negative, but this is the reality of it because I'm a wrestling fan. These are two very good girls.
Yeah, wholesome.
They're good in the ring, but they're really wholesome girls. Meaning I'm not expecting to see a whole lot of backhanded tactics used to get it. At this point, I'm kind of, this one of them is going to have to show me who wants it more. Mm-hmm. Now, how you go about showing me that, leave that to your discretion along with the history of this sport.
Right. Someone's going to turn to the dark side. Someone's going to turn to the dark side here. Yeah, so one of these two is going to go to the dark side to try to get the victory or get the victory. I got it. If I got to pick, I'm taking Kalani Jordan retaining, and I think she turns to the dark side. I think a heel turn for Kalani Jordan in a way, or use a method that is not going to, and she's going to get some boost from the Performance Center when she comes out on Tuesday because of the way she won the match.
Here's the thing. Now, if you're saying that, and I totally agree with you, I'm of the same agreement where Kalani retains. But if we're doing that, I would like it, Jedi. If we're cooking, if I got the pencil, I don't want the immediate heel turn.
No, not the immediate.
I want the. I mean, I didn't know this was gonna happen like that. I mean, if we're gonna. That
naive heel turn. Like she's really not, in her mind, she's not really doing anything negative or bad or heel. She just, she just took an opportunity.
Taking advantage of the circumstances
I like it.
Presented in front of her.
I like it.
And then it starts to, So, and that way, here's a beautiful part though. Now, because something like that happens, it can either turn Kalani heel, or it could happen 2 times. But because it happens twice, and both times were honestly out of Kalani Jordan's control, that could be the catalyst to turn Sol Ruka heel. To say,
that
you know what, I'm tired of this.
You know what,
I'm tired of all these circumstances, this, that. I really have to, like John Cena says, control the controllables. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to make sure I control everything.
If let's say Kalani wins, that Tuesday night, someone confronts her. You lost because you needed, and turn her kind of like, get her like a heel. Not like a manager, but to get her on the wing. I told you needed to do this, and that. Hey, come on, I'll talk to you. Like the way Sonya Deville. That's where Sonya Deville shows up to NXT and tries to intervene into a Sol Ruka. And start recruiting there. You could bring that Axeman there because she's having now her tentacles in NXT as well as the main roster. You see her trying to recruit Zoe Starks, Natalia, and so forth. They're not behind a fourth wall, or on unforbidden set territory where they can't go here and this and that. You could see a Sonya Deville there. We've seen Sonya Deville in NXT plenty of times. So maybe that's where Ray goes first to try to convince. Sol Ruka and working on her. Well, interesting in that one. Let's go to the next match here. The North American champion, the unstoppable, movable force of Obafemi versus the former longest reigning North American champion, Wesley. Man, on paper, it looks like the impossible, but this is the cardiac kid who makes the impossible possible. Here's the one thing I'm going to say. I think if Wesley wins, it's because the Rascals, someone from TNA has come to help Wesley, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz, because it's going to take that kind of shenanigans to get Obafemi down, because he is an unstoppable monster. And it's not in a negative way. He's just over. He checks all the boxes. But a referee bump, whatever the case, they come help him. They put him on there. Wesley doesn't know. He gets knocked out, but they put Wesley on top of him. Obafemi wins, and Wesley doesn't know whether to embrace the Rascals or get upset. And we have to wait until Tuesday to find out. And then Wesley accepts the Rascals' help, and they join back. And the crowd will go crazy, even though they're going to return as heels. A Wesley kind of heel run we really don't like. We love him because he's a good guy, but he might need something. He might need that way to be believable to beat Obafemi.
It's what currently is the most dominant North American champion,
yes,
versus the greatest North American champion. The dichotomy, it's the levels. It's. I have nothing else to add to what you just said.
I mean, it'd be interesting because that's the only way. That's the only way I could think of Wesley really retaining the title.
Jedi just whipped the eggs, put the sugar in with the eggs. He got the vanilla extract going. He took care of the cake, took care of the frosting, put it together, sliced up the strawberries. He did everything. I had nothing to add to that.
Well, we move on here. We thought it was going to be a delicious delight, but after watching that promo last night, my goodness, it took a turn for, they're making a lemon cake, or but life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Hopefully they can make some lemonade out of that lemon promo that they had last night. Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. This is Lola Vice's second opportunity, a second crack at the NXT Women's Champion. Last time was trying to be a breakout tournament cash-in. She interjected herself in that triple threat match, and this is her second time. This is her first time one-on-one with Roxanne Perez. Who do you got winning here? And do you see a case for the other result? I'll go with you first.
Oh, thank you. I got Roxanne winning this. I have no case for Lola to come out on top of Roxanne. We know there's monsters in the back that that's coming out soon. We got a Julia that's about to join this thing. We got you hinted at it. I won't say it, but there's multiple other women that are potentially coming to NXT because this is the best women's division in all of pro wrestling right now. I had it potentially just looking it forward to being a great match, and I still nothing takes those reservations from that. That was a terrible promo battle that happened yesterday. It was a terrible promo battle that happened on Tuesday night, and if anything, that just let me know who was ready and who wasn't to be the face of the company, to be having all those discussions outside of wrestling. I got Roxanne winning this.
Hey, I couldn't disagree with you there because of the in-ring of Roxanne Perez. Her matches, her in-ring, her work. Lola Vice is growing. She's getting better with her wrestling skills, her ability, her selling, her registering, all that good stuff. But I know everyone's going to say, well, she was showing emotion, guys. This is women. They show emotion. Yes, that's fine. You can show emotion, but make it make sense to the story. But then you're shaking, you're wiggling your hips while you're crying. You look kooky. You look nutty. You look like that crazy girlfriend. Like she's gonna cry and laugh and dance at the same time. Wait, maybe that's the persona that Lola's trying to go. If she loses, she becomes Lola, Loca Lola. I mean, maybe that's a persona that she's growing into because she loses this title. She becomes a little cuckoo, obsessed to want to win this title. Maybe that's a route. I don't know. I don't see Lola Vice winning. I said that 2 weeks ago, and I almost blurted out on the watch along, and I said, wait, I'll tell you next week about this. And I waited, and I bit my tongue because I was going to say that. I don't see, and that was before the promo battle. You know, I didn't see Rock, because, again, this is the reason why I'm saying this. We got Julia coming from Marigold to NXT. It's all, that's the well-known secret we all know, for real. We know she's coming. We know she's going to show up at NXT, and maybe after SummerSlam. Let's put that timetable for argument's sake. She's getting better. She's got no cast. She'll be joining soon. You're telling me Lola versus Julia? I think it'll be it'll be not an embarrassment. It'll be a disrespect for Lola Vice if Julia takes the title from Lola. And she's gonna be champion for a couple of weeks. Hey, and, you know.
I'm gonna tell you, Jedi is just Lola versus Julia. No one wins. No one is happy.
No one's gonna be happy because here they come to me force feeding us this Japanese wrestler. They're force feeding her. We want Lola, who's been in the Performance Center.
Wait, but then look, but then there's gonna be those people, right? The NXT diehards. Then there's gonna be the IWC diehards that go, come on, man, Julia's way more accomplished. I'm supposed to believe she loses to this rookie that's only been in wrestling for how long? This, that,
Correct.
whatever. Like, she can't take it. Like, no one wins.
Yeah.
It's not even one of those things where it's like, yo, I would welcome that discussion to be had. It's like, just no one wins, everyone loses, and a lot of people are going to be upset for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
It's not worth it.
No, have Roxanne win. And because Roxanne versus anyone from the... Have you put Lola Vice against Jordan Grace? Are you going to get that kind of quality match that we saw on Battlegrounds? No. We're not. Because Jordan Grace could destroy Lola Vice the way she, and some people didn't like Roxanne going over on Jordan Grace to begin with, because Jordan Grace should have been Roxanne, and you could argue that, but you saw how they told that story on how she won that match, not to beat a dead drum or a drum that happened already. Here's what I would like: if Lola eventually, when I would like to see Lola win the women's champion at next year's Stand and Deliver. Next year, Stand and Deliver in Las Vegas. All she got to do, I would love to see Lola win the Iron Survivor in December. Let her, because you know what? Where she could use her MMA background with that fist and her kicks to knock women out and get those falls at the Iron Survivor and get the most pinfalls and knockouts so she could become the women's Iron Survivor. Now you're building her and making her look like a badass because she beat all these other 5 other women with the back fist, kicks, whatever. She gets better on the promo skills, microphone, and build her to Stand and Deliver where she takes the title either from Julia. You could call Julia up to the NXT to Monday Night Raw, to the main roster by then, and so forth. And you go on, and you don't hurt no one. You don't hurt Lola because she's still gonna be champion, NXT champion, and you're still, and you got the reign of Julia out if she's there, or Lash Legend, whoever gets that woman's NXT title after Roxanne Perez. And then also remember, you have a working relationship with TNA. You need women, and again, kudos to WWE. Is not afraid of sending Izzy Dane to wrestle Jordan Grace, Taylor Paxley. They're doing good jobs there. But, again, they're not going to go over, because we know they weren't going to go over Jordan Grace. But if you're telling me Roxanne Perez, she did, you could build certain women. I think Roxy wins as well. And there's now no knock on Lola Vice. I want to see Lola hold that title. Been a fan of her since she's been in NXT, but there's always a time for everything. Hay un tiempo para todo, mija. Y el tiempo no es tuyo ahorita. It's not your time right now. That's all I'm going to say here. Let's go to the NXT champion match. The Fatal 4-Way. Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Shawn Spears. My God, it's a tough one to call. Because if Shawn Michaels want to push the title on Javon Evans, make him the youngest NXT men's champion, I could see that because they build history, but they will kill him on WC because the guy can't even speak. He can't even cut a promo. But, man, he could put on some hell of a matches. But his promo was good.
His promo was good. It wasn't the cleanest.
Right.
And that's all, I think Javon Evans falls to the same problem that Jey Uso falls under. and I noticed this a lot. Like when Jay's cutting the promo, like I bet like when they're hammering the details behind the scenes, he gets it done. Boom. But when he goes out there, he's such a great performer. He lets the emotion bleed through. Half the time he's letting the emotion bleed through, the emotion ends up talking for him as opposed to words he could be saying and putting together. Just dial back on the emotion a little bit, still, because you have the connection, but let the words come across. That's really it for Javon Evans. That's the only thing I could say with his promo work. Okay. But other than that, it was still really good.
Yeah, when he got up and says, "Yo, I'm about to punch you in your face," and Sean Spears got scared. He was like, "Yo," he made him believe.
It was something. He's like, it was something. Your dumb ass, and the way he said with your dumb and Sean.
He got up. Sean Spears got scared. Yeah.
Jedi. If Sean Spears doesn't do that, it doesn't look good for him. So that's why I think Sean Spears and Javon Evans have a great working chemistry.
Oh, yeah. The matches were on fire between those two. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Those matches were fire.
There is legitimately a case for each and every one of these guys to hold the title. Trick already having the title. The build was phenomenal, and we're in the whoop that era, and I'm enjoying every part of the whoop that era. Javon Evans, like you said, could be the youngest NXT champion, and that could potentially build for something between him and Trick, where But I think him and Trick is a long-term booking. So as I'm starting to do this in my head, it's like, all right, let me move that out the way. Ethan Page and Sean Spears both cut very good promos, and we need heel champions.
Ooh. Okay, so you don't think Trick is coming back from Toronto with that title, huh?
No. I'm not saying we need them now. I love Trick.
Okay. I mean, you scared me there. We need heel champions. I was like, whoa. That's why it's like you don't see Trick coming back.
No. It's not. No. But the reason I said that wasn't because of Trick. It was because of the politician over on Friday. That's why. It was just so much. I got Trick coming back. Retaining the title. But it doesn't end here. The way they built this and the way that I'm so excited for this, it doesn't end here. This doesn't end here. That's all I can say. It just doesn't end here. Trick retains, but it doesn't end here. What say you?
I think Trick Williams retains this title. I think they're really happy with Trick Williams. He gets the crowd going. He gets everyone excited at the PC. Ethan Page just got here. Spears. Right now, we haven't really connected to want to see them hold the titles right now, so I don't think they'll push that trigger with those two guys yet. But stranger things has happened. I still think Trick Williams still retains, especially if, the Money in the Bank ladder match is going to say a lot of things, too, of the direction of creative. If it's Carmelo Hayes, I mean, my goodness, imagine Carmelo Hayes in that just happens to be at Heatwave, walking around with the Money in the Bank because he's really looking for Kalani, but he's walking around just in there in the back because everyone knows that they're an item, and he comes around. You see Money in the Bank and Trick, a little worried or not focused on that ladder match because Carmelo's in the building, all those things because it's an intriguing storyline. Like, oh, Carmelo's in the building with the keys, yo. I mean, and I know everyone's gonna say I don't want to see him cash in on Trick Williams in NXT. It's not him. He's not gonna cash in on him. It's the storyline to make you want to watch and see. Does he have the guts to really cash it in on NXT?
Also, that's also in the essence long-term storytelling because at some point, because Carmelo's messing around with that case, Trick loses and
that
Trick comes up to the main roster. He's got nothing but smoke, Carmelo Hayes.
There's so many different. He could cost him that title tomorrow, and then, like you said, when Trick comes back, remember they don't have to cash this for a whole year. This is a whole year, and then let's say next year's draft, and Trick gets drafted. Melo's going to cash in. Fail cash in because Trick Williams stops it because Trick has a receipt of him losing his title in Toronto. There's so many long-term storytelling. Long-term storytelling if they want to go that route. Guys, our thoughts and our opinion are not Bible. It's not gospel. It's our thoughts, our opinion.
But it's pretty damn close, so you better take it. Welcome to the heel of the ring.
There you go. And also have an open mind. Listen to another perspective. Maybe your thoughts are different, are good. Write in the comments. You might not agree with us. It's okay to not agree with us. But just have an open mind and listen to the debates. Listen to our thoughts. Listen to our ideas. I'm not saying you have to use them. Oh, this has got to be this way. Or I'm going to wear a pink robe and I'm going to hashtag. Listen to me, WWE. No. We're just giving our thoughts as a wrestling fan. We'll be, different avenues. Predictions. It's a prediction show. So we ask you to have an open mind. Please listen. Retain the good stuff that you like from us, and the one stuff you don't like, just put it to a side. And that's all we ask as a wrestling fan. That's all. We just want you to continue to subscribe, follow us, hit the like button, and continue watching us here on the Heel in the Ring podcast. We want to thank you guys. That is the weekend in a nutshell for Money in the Bank predictions review. We did the whole weekend from SmackDown all the way to HeatWave and then Monday Night Raw. We don't know we have no announced matches yet, so that's why we didn't even preview that. We're not going to do that. We'll wait for that to happen. We want to thank everyone again. This video is recorded earlier. We might play it live on a replay, or I just download it. Depends what it is. But don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. In the video descriptions, you can find where you can find us on X, on the Playback TV, on our different social media, Rumble, Twitch, Truvo, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, anywhere, on our audio platforms. Please, 5-star reviews. Give a comment. Put a comment. We want to hear some feedback. We want to know that you're listening, that you're watching, that you're enjoying this. What can we do to make this a little more greater than we are? Because we're always striving for excellence. So we thank you guys on the Heel in the Ring podcast. Watch us. We're going to do the watch along. So if you want to watch along and you want to give your thoughts as the matches happen, we have a live chat. We do the watch along. We can't show the footage, but we want to hear your interactions with us. We are an audience participation program. We want you to participate in the chat. So from me and Chef Dan, may the sports be with you. Remember, get over in life. Don't let life pin you. Always kick out and get over. So have a good night, everyone. Peace out.
Acknowledge me. I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know, my rap, my blood boils over like... Oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see